How did we get to this point, though, Doc? You know, you have the 30 for 30. People are worried about your health. You're on the cover of the Daily News. Darryl's saying things about you. Like, what happened here?
You know, what happened here is, and then Darryl was talk, and I think stuff got blown way out and got control. And the thing that's funny, I still love Darryl. And believe it or not, he's still my friend. Which I think he's my friend. You know, we fight with each other, but I never thought it would go public like that. We have conversations before we got to this point about different things. And, I mean, I'm sure he probably said some things he regret. I said things I regret. I got to that point, I really don't know. I think it was a situation where maybe he had called girl with a question or something. I don't know. I can't answer for him, but, you know, I'm healthy. I'm not using drugs. That's all I can say. And my goal is to help others, and I still go out and I speak at schools. So schools are going to start up. I have a contract. I speak at colleges. I speak at juveniles. I help a lot of kids. I do a lot of different things. I continue that because it's great for therapy for myself as well. And I just got to keep it in my life, and something like this will only strengthen my recovery.
When's the last time you used cocaine?
It's been almost 4 years since I've used.
Now, there's triggers that everybody talks about as an addict, you know, those in recovery. Do you understand your triggers that if this happens, then that happens, then that leads to this?
I know most of my triggers, but a lot of times you get new triggers. But my hardest thing was always picking up the phone and what we call in recovery is telling on yourself. I used to always have a hard time telling myself because as a baseball player, at least for myself, my dad taught me at a very young age. I knew how to, like, if I was throwing a ball like high and tight or up and away or cleaning my curve working, I knew how to correct those things. When I was having a tough day in my recovery, I didn't know how to correct those things by myself. I always had to ask for help, and that was my whole battle over 20 years to do that. I could do that today. So, you know, I have to be careful because I have a two-headed sword. When things are going great, that can be dangerous. When things are going bad, that can be dangerous. So I try to stay in the middle every day, try to talk to somebody about support group every day, and, you know, just continue my means and just try to, you know, keep it even killed because I know the disease is right there, and if I let my guard down for a split second, I'm in trouble.
You understand why people are concerned about your health?
Oh, no doubt. I completely understand. Number one, I understand because of my history. Number two, I understand because of the weight loss. But if people look back to 2011, and I'm just saying this, I'm not making excuses. I don't have to defend the truth. But if people look back to 2011, when I was at my worst, I was going through a divorce with my second wife. I had two little kids I hadn't seen in 6 months, but I was stuck in a hotel for 6 months, which I talked about in my book. I was stuck in this hotel for 6 months. I was on a binge where I was used 3 days, and one day I wouldn't use was basically passed out. For 6 months, I was 265 pounds while I was at my worst. Today, you know, the last 6 months I've been battling through depression. You know, I lost my mom, but even before I lost my mom, I went through this whole depression thing, which I talked about on the Yes Network for the first time. I'm down to 220. So they say, well, the weight loss, you know, it looks different now. And the same, you know, it's the old saying, you can't judge a book by its cover. Find out what's really going on with a person before you judge. But I don't blame anybody. I completely understand why they would think that because of my history. Then you have one of my close friends come out and say stuff like that. And a girl who she says she was my former girlfriend and fiance, but she never was. She was homeless. And I let her in my house to stay there. And, you know, making comments, stuff like that. So I can understand why people say that. But the most important thing, I know a lot of people out there care for me, and I really appreciate that, and that means a lot.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.